everybody. Today I'm just going to do a quick video on how to fix a warp. I quenched this knife yesterday and put it in a temper oven, and it has a pretty significant warp to it. And I'm just going to document how I go about straightening these out. So we'll take a quick look at the knife, and then I'll show you how I set that up. All right, let's get a look at the knife. We'll see if we can see the warp. See that the tang comes off to this side, and so does the tip, just a little bit. Tip isn't near as bad as the tang is out of alignment, but the whole thing is out just a little bit. So the way I set those up, I have a piece of angle iron right here, and I have me a couple washers, and I find that warp, and I put the bow to the top side. And so I'm going to set the washers under the tip like that. And then I'm going to block up the tang side of it also right there. And I'm going to hold it over like this, and I'm going to find the center of that warp, where that warp is the worst. And I believe it's right in this general area right here. And so the way I go about doing that, I get me one of these little clamps like this, just a little C clamp, and I'm going to clamp that on there right in the middle of where that warp is. Right there. I'm going to go just past straight, and see it's bending a little more out at the tip, so I may than it is at the tang, and the tip is not where most of the warp is. I'm going to move those back just a little bit. You can see I took them away from straight at the tip. I'll go just a little bit more. Okay, if you can see down that alignment, I have that bent just past straight, and it looks to be most of the bending is happening right back here. There is some right in this general area, but we'll see. That looks pretty decent. Yeah, it's just past straight. So we'll take that, and you want to do this after you've done your temper cycles. If you do this before, you risk the chance of breaking your knife. So you want to temper it, and then at least once, and then you can do this again. So I have my temper oven set. So just this little guy right here, I have it set at about 425, 430 degrees. I'm going to put this in there for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, just till it's completely warmed up all the way through to that temperature. And when that happens, we'll bring it out, we'll cool it off with some water, and take it loose and see if we got it straight enough to be able to grind it back straight, if it's not, or if it just straightens out completely. So we'll give that some time to warm up and go from there. Okay, so it has been probably 30 minutes or so. This should be ready to come out, and we're going to bring it out and cool it off in the water. That shouldn't hurt it at all. And then we're going to let that cool off for a minute, and then we'll take the clamp off and see how we did. Okay, so here it is, still clamped up. I'll take that off there and see what it looks like. Let's see if I can drop everything. It's still a little warped. It's not as bad as it was, but it's still warped. Tell this way a little better. Still warped off that way. Not as bad as it was, but it is still warped. So clamp her back up and go back in. Okay, so I got her back in there again. I've got her bent quite a little more than I did the last time. We'll see if you can see. Yeah. We'll put her back in there and do it again. Okay, so we're going to go with round 2 of trying to straighten this. I let it soak for probably 45 minutes instead of just the 30 minutes. We're going to take it out. We're going to dunk it in the water and see what we come up with. We'll let that sit in there for a minute, cool completely off, and see if we got it to straighten out. Okay, so here it is still all clamped up. You can see that I've got it counter bent the opposite direction of the warp. I don't know if you can. It is definitely bent. There, you can see it there. Definitely bent pretty good. I went quite a little bit more this time. So let's take that off. See if we got it to straighten out this time. If we can get it within grinder range, that would be great. If we can get it straight, that would even be better. Oh, she's straight. So now it is pretty much straight. As far as I can tell, it's pretty good. Yep, I think that's definitely within grinder range. So anyway, that's how I go about straightening up a warp. So anyway, I've heard of using the carbide hammers. I've never used one. And I know there's probably a lot of ways to do this, but this is the way that I do it. It definitely took probably 95 or better percent of that warp out of this blade. So pretty happy with that. I can scribe a line around there and grind it straight with what's left on it. So pretty happy with that. One way to check and see if your knife is straight is to bring it over to the granite plate afterwards. I mean, it looks pretty straight, and so if you can do that and it doesn't do anything, it's pretty straight. So on this side, the tang does have just a tiny kick up right here, but not very much, and we're going to taper that tang down anyway. Put your thumb on the ricasso right there. It's just a tiny bit right there, but it's all in the tang. The rest of the blade is straight. There's nothing out here. It's just all in the tang. So not a big deal. So there we go. It is ready for final grinding. Thanks everybody for coming along. Hopefully that helps you figure out how to take out a warp on a knife. Sometimes it might take 3 or 4 times to get it right, and sometimes you overcorrect and you have to go back the other way. But it definitely worked on it this time, and I've never had that fail me. I've always been able to get a warp out doing it that way. So anyway, yeah, that's thank you for following along. Don't forget to subscribe, and just hopefully that helps. We'll see you on the next one.